Okay. Hi. Welcome to the first ASMR monthly ramble. I'm still working on the name. Like, it's either going to be monthly murmurs or monthly rambles. The only reason why I'm hesitant to use monthly rambles is I'm pretty sure that other ASMR artists use monthly ramble as a thing. I don't really want to steal from people who've been this way longer than I have. But whatever. Welcome to a monthly murmur, monthly ramble for September 2020. I'm going to plan on releasing these on the 15th of every single month. And it's just a little audio diary on my thoughts on YouTube in general, and really just kind of do a bit of a meta-analysis on myself. So yeah, it's been a little bit over my first month on YouTube actually, because my first video was the GTA episode that I think was August 4th. Let me check real quick. Videos. August 3rd, actually. So it's been a month and a half. But still, I want to do this on the 15th of every single month. And it's crazy to me how I've only been on this platform for just 1 month. And yet I feel like I've learned a lot about video editing. Not like, I'm a master at video editing yet, right? I'm just like specifically video editing with Blender. And this kind of more or less marks like the end of me using Blender to edit, hopefully. Because I have I have problems with Blender. And it's great because, it's free and it's got the other programs built into it that I personally don't know how to use, but are great for modeling and whatever. But you get what you pay for. That's how the saying goes. So I've spent the last 6-ish weeks just sucking it up and using Blender for my video editing purposes, which you totally can do. Like all of my first 14-ish videos, I think that's what we're up to right now, were all edited using Blender video editing. And really the only L I took was on the Among Us episode, the first one. Some of the Minecraft ones. Possibly the GTA ones, but I, to be honest, didn't go back through all of the hours of gameplay footage, so but I have downloaded DaVinci Resolve, and starting this week I'm going to start putting in my raw capture into DaVinci. And the special thing about that, right, is that Blender, because I use OBS to record, and OBS has a setting that lets you have separate audio tracks, and that's great for me when I'm doing like the Among Us videos. So I can separate Among Us, I can separate the Discord call, and then I can change the audio levels of both. Blender don't give a shit about any of that, not gonna lie, because even if the raw capture you get out of OBS says that it has separate audio tracks, Blender just sees it all as one audio track, but not DaVinci Resolve. So I've got some new recordings that I want to put on through DaVinci, Learn DaVinci. Have my very first DaVinci edited video up by this Thursday. It'll be Minecraft Ruby number 6, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And I'm kind of worried, not gonna lie, because I've spent 6 weeks learning how Blender and video editing works, and I just learned how to do this thing called a hold cut in Blender, where you can freeze frame, and I use that for this first session of Among Us videos, where in reality I'm on mobile, so it plays the free ad, but I can cut that out of the video and just freeze frame the last frame of the end screen and carry that through. And then there's still like the Discord call and me talking as separate tracks. So I can mute the ad and then cut the video, but then keep talking and then keep the video call. But the problem with that is that I've been like audio syncing everything by hand, and by ear. I don't know how like the equivalent would be, but I had to sync all those separate audio tracks, and that is such a pain. But if I can get it all in OBS and I can have it all synced up from the get-go and have my separate audio tracks using DaVinci Resolve, that would be so helpful. Because just in case I need to mute one audio, not the other, for these gameplay videos. I did run into my first problem with OBS, and that was during my Terraria ASMR episode 4. The problem with that is I wanted to record some backlog, right? So I recorded, what was it, like 2 hours of gameplay footage, and then I go back and I'm editing in Blender, and with Blender, with the video editing, when you play through it, it only plays at about like 5 to 15, but usually 5 frames per second, until you have to cache the frames, and I'm recording at 60 frames per second, so really if I'm having like a 3-second clip that I want to preview 3 times 60, I have to cache 180 different individual pictures. That's how Blender looks at it, right? So when I play through it without caching, also I can only cache like 500 frames at a time, which I think is like roughly 6 or 8 seconds, and that takes like 2 or 3 minutes to cache. So I usually just don't, unless I really need to. So I was watching through it, and I didn't notice that my OBS capture for Terraria episode 4 was lagging really hard. Normally in this like a lag spike, there was probably one in Terraria ASMR episode 3. It only lasted like 3 seconds and I was done. And it was easy to just talk through that and end the episode there. But with episode 4, it would freeze a frame and hold it for literally, not exaggerating, like 2 minutes. Like 2 minutes at a time minimum. And then it would just snap back to the correct frame. So technically my audio would sync up. It's just there would be 2 minutes of just no video. And I thought at first, like, oh, okay, well it's just one segment, it's not that bad. I scrub through the entire thing, like I'm caching these 500 frame segments all throughout my captures, that 2 hours of capture. And there's even there was a good like 30-minute block where it was playing at like a quarter of a frame a sec. So like every 4 seconds it would switch frames, and I'd be like, I can't use this. It's 30 minutes of a quarter frame per second. And like, so if you saw that episode, you'll know that I had to scrap those 2 hours of capture footage and just record another fresh hour. And the problem, I found out what the problem was, and that's why I was able to release that episode. The problem was that Windows has this thing called gameplay mode, or like game mode, or something. And on the OBS forums, it's like a known thing that if you have gamer mode enabled in like your Windows 10 settings, that it'll just eat up your OBS save. And like, I'm guessing I just hit some key or something to turn it on, and I never thought to check it because I didn't know this was such a huge problem that could ruin 2 hours of capture footage. But now I do. So, any of you listening right now or planning on recording, go check your Windows 10 like game settings and make sure you don't have the game capture thingy on. You can look it up. It's like OBS frame lagging thing. So I turned mine off and I was able to record a perfect hour. And I got that episode up. And that reminds me, like, recording in backlog is actually really useful for me, because with the first few episodes of Terraria, I'd spent like a little bit being confused about where I was in the last episode, because at the time I was only releasing 2 Terraria ASMRs a month, but currently I'm switching to once a week, so for a month. And the problem with the 2-week gaps is that I wouldn't remember what I did the week before, and one workaround is I could just watch the previous episode, maybe even just skim like the ending of the previous episode and just get the general gist. But I wasn't doing any of that, so I was always spending a good bit of the first initial Terraria ASMR videos just kind of, not necessarily aimless, but definitely goalless. Because, I knew the general goal of Terraria, but I didn't feel like passion to go into anywhere specific. And it was just kind of making things up. But the nice thing about when I recorded that backlog that no one got to see, well, until now, I'm using that backlog as like my B-roll for this footage, for this ramble. What was I saying? Right, because I was recording backlog, that meant I had stuff. I was filming them back to back, and it was easier to remember what my goals, like in-game goals, were transitioning between the two. So, like, by episode 4, that was like hour 3 of me recording, but I had serious, like, I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and I was able to just do it. And that's kind of sort of what I do with the Minecraft Ruby episodes. I recorded the first 5 in one chunk, and I'd say I had a goal, but honestly, with how intense the Grim are, the goal was just survive and stay in whole. So, but yeah, recording in backlog and like having shorter times between recording sessions really helps me with like remembering what my in-game goals are. And speaking of production cycles, I am cutting off my GTA grind videos, and the reason for that is out of everything I produce, there's like the longest, they're the longest projects, like each episode, it's like 80 minutes-ish minimum, and they also have like, they don't have the least amount of views, but they don't do great, is the bottom line. Like, they take the longest for me to record, they take the longest for me to edit, and they're outpaced by things like, even the Terraria outpaces my GTA videos, and it got to a point where I was like, I want to play GTA 5 for fun. I don't want to spend 4 days of like producing a video that almost no one is going to watch, compared to just sitting down recording 2 Terraria videos in that same amount of time and knowing that people will watch them. And like, I really badly just wanted to play GTA for fun again. For things like Minecraft and Terraria, I don't mind like keeping myself restrained and only playing on camera, because those are like single player experiences. Like the world stays more or less the same. They do stay the same. It's not a multiplayer. Like, those worlds will wait for you. GTA, I'm kind of like, or if you want to play Minecraft, you can just go in a different world, or go in a different Terraria save, or use a different Terraria character. But with GTA, like, that is my one character, and I didn't want to play GTA offline, because I felt like, oh, what if something happens and I'm not recording, or... So I just cut the GTA series, and it's been fun. I've been playing GTA for fun again, and this... okay, it's actually kind of funny, because the week that I stopped doing GTA, Rockstar released an update, and like, with every update they kind of change whatever mission gives you bonus cash and bonus experience. And this week, as I'm recording this, it's the bunker missions, which is like was the crux of my GTA grinding session, and I'm just like, because I made 500k and I didn't record it, but that's fine, because I was having fun playing GTA again, and I can play GTA whenever I feel like, and not worry about recording or producing for the next 5 days. And it's nice. It's really nice. And again, I don't really feel that pressure with Terraria or Minecraft because I've not really beaten, but I've gotten to the end game of Terraria so many times that, like, the fun isn't, like, linear progress. In Terraria, the fun is more like, the fun is the parts that I would record for that character. And if I want to go splurge, I could just use a different character. Or in Minecraft. So, fun times all around. And that's another thing too, an important thing about having a channel, because most YouTubers, they will tell you, like, you should not focus on the numbers, but to a certain extent, like, you kind of do have to focus on numbers. But I think what they mean is, like, that can't be the only reason that you're making YouTube videos is just for numbers. Like, we human beings are wired to feel good when we see those numbers tick up, you know, like, that's how video games work. You see that experience bar go up, you see your battle pass rank up, whatever, it's the same thing. Well, that's the same feeling I get sitting here watching these YouTube stats on my channel. It's like that human drive to see numbers ticking upwards. And, but, you know, the other YouTubers are right, that can't be the only reason that you record. So what I've discovered in my first month on this platform is that I'm actually pretty okay at still playing games for the sake of just having fun and wanting to share that. Just sharing moments that people wouldn't see, because I'd just be a lunatic in my room talking to myself. Like with GTA, for example, I wasn't having fun with it. I wanted to have fun with it, and the only solution for me was to drop it, so I did. And playing for fun is such a huge part of it. And because the moment that you don't care about your game, like, it'll just, at least for me, it'll totally show up in a video if I'm not feeling it. And that won't feel good to produce at all, because I have to sit there and listen to myself hating myself. But no, instead, play for fun, play games you actually enjoy. If it just so happens to be a game that's booming right now, that's a win-win. Like, I could play Fall Guys, because that's, like, the thing right now. It's just, and I think Fall Guys looks fun. I just don't have people that I would play with at the moment, and I don't see that being, like, a fun thing to record. Definitely fun to play, just with my current situation, I wouldn't have fun recording Fall Guys. As much fun as I would recording Among Us. So, that's my for fun choice. Another for fun choice is, like, how I personally craft my schedule, you know? So, like, I purposely put the videos that take me the longest on, like, days where I know I'll have the most time between, and the easiest to produce for me right now is Among Us, so that goes up on Saturdays. So I have Monday, Thursdays, and Saturdays, so between Thursday and Saturday I can just quickly churn out an Among Us cut. Guess I'm always having fun in Among Us, but sometimes I'm not feeling like playing Terraria, or sometimes I'm not feeling like, or I can't record a Minecraft session, and that's yet again another thing I learned on my first month on YouTube, is the importance of having a backlog, because backlog kind of lets you be more flexible. I was talking in a group chat about this, but, like, it's so crazy to me how I have backlog mentality on my YouTube channel, but not with, you know, like, my college level homework or anything. Like, why can't I have that same mentality where, like, oh, if I do things ahead of schedule, then I have free time and I can choose how I plot my time better. But I think for me it's because on YouTube I can be my own judge. And if something's not good enough, I tell myself when something's not good enough, but then if I'm doing homework, I'm, like, always anxious that I'm not doing good enough. So I'm like, I gotta be in the perfect mood, and I'm just a mess with schoolwork. But on my YouTube channel, I could be my own kind of mess. I can be the kind of mess that records Terraria at 4 in the morning and releases a video, like, 3 hours late, because it lost 3 hours of capture, and it's totally fine. But, yes, having a backlog is super important, because, like, the longest backlog I had this month was a 2-week backlog, and, it's nice because you can just record what you want to record for the sake of having fun. You don't have to think like, oh, Monday's coming up, I have to record a Terraria. Like, you can just record whatever, backlog whatever, and eventually everything will fall into place. Right now, I'm kind of like, I'm running on almost fumes. The only backlog I have is for Saturdays. But I am gonna have to record another Minecraft session. I say that like I'm not gonna enjoy it. I genuinely enjoy the Minecraft Ruby stuff. I'm just concerned about whether or not, like, when I'm gonna have that uninterrupted block of time again. But yes, having a backlog does feel very, very nice. Because, again, I'll say this over and over again, playing for fun. As you may have seen at the bottom of every single YouTube video, I have an AO3, so, like, I have a place where I upload my writing. I am very familiar with what it feels like to have creators burnout, and like what it feels like to produce something just because you feel like you have to produce something. And I would much rather run this channel on the basis of fun and consistency than just consistency, because consistency is important, you know. But as long as you can still keep it fun, you're pretty much golden. But maybe those are just the words of a babyface YouTuber, an absolute child. But I'm hopeful, and thank you to everyone that is either here right now or listening to this in the future, wherever you may be. Thank you for listening. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm recording this on the 15th, and I kind of want to upload this at 10 a.m. Another thing I learned about myself is that I have this weird thing where I stick to arbitrary self-set goals, like a real mofo. There is something, like, I can't, I am really good at being consistent and arbitrary things, so I'm like almost retentive with my 10 a.m. PST uploads. What was I talking about? Right, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. You've no doubt seen like the lag thing that I was talking about in this B-roll that I'm using for this recording. And yeah, this should be the last video that I put together using Blender. Oh fuck, I need to render the Blender. Yeah, we'll upload past 10 a.m. It's just a ramble video. What was I talking about? Man, my brain. Right. I gotta cut this off soonish, but I probably won't upload at 10 a.m. even after I just went on that spiel about 10 a.m. consistency. Yes, again, thank you for being here. Thank you for putting up with my very early learning experiences with how to both use YouTube as a platform and use these free editing tools. I want to give a quick rundown. So I use Audacity to record my audio, OBS for my captures, Blender. Used to use Blender, but I'm going to switch to DaVinci Resolve starting with Minecraft Ruby number 5 onwards. And I also use Inkscape to make my thumbnails. And I have learned a surprising amount in like this relatively short amount of focus time. And that means that there are videos up right now that I am currently looking at on the screen that are edited with like the brain of like August 3rd Val. And thank you for watching them anyway. And things will get better. I'll get more consistent. I'll learn DaVinci. I'll have a good backlog. But I have faith in myself because I'm consistent. I play for fun. And I'm just hopeful in general. Also, I need give a quick shout out to like my Among Us videos right now. Like, oh my god, I've uploaded 14 videos, and my 2 Among Us videos are responsible for half of my watch time. Like, I'm like a mild data nerd, and I like making those like extrapolations like that. Like, not because I care about the extrapolation itself, but just like it's an absolute woke moment. But I think that's where I'm gonna end this September monthly murmur session. Title pending. If you've got any suggestions or any general criticisms for the channel, or suggestions, maybe like a suggestion for what I should title this monthly murmur thing, monthly ramble, monthly murmur, I don't know. Let me know in the comment section, and I'll check back in with you guys in October. Thank you.